Thank you, Attorney Yves Gonzalez. Would there be any questions from the members of the committee?
Mr. Chairman, just a clarification.
Yes, Your Barber's request.
Yes, Attorney Gonzalez, would you be able to tell this committee kung how many of our vloggers or the ones that use the YouTube social media platform are able to monetize? Would you be able to tell us that? And if you can, what is the ballpark figure of the amount of the revenues that these vloggers make?
Mr. Chairman, I think tens of thousands of Filipino creators are in the YouTube partnership program.
And all of them are monetizing?
Once you are in the YouTube partnership program, then that means that you are monetizing your content.
And would you be able to tell us, give us a ballpark figure as to how much revenues do these vloggers make?
I think the Google, as a public company, is able to disclose its revenues, but I would not have the ability to give you the specific details for the Philippines.
I understand, yeah. But the reason why I asked that, Mr. Chair, is because we'd like to find out what motivates the vloggers, the so-called vloggers. I'm not generalizing, but what I'm saying is that there are very few of them who actually are motivated by the monetization by these social media platforms. And the only objective is to generate engagements, a higher number of engagements, in order to convert this to cash. Tama, di ba? I think that's the motivation of some of these vloggers who peddle fake news. And you know naman how it is, when a fake news is being posted online, people has different reactions. One would probably, if one sees it, probably would say, "Totoo ba ito?" Or the other would say, "Ay, totoo ito. Kasi galing ito kay ganyan." Or would say na, "Teka nga, tanong ko nga kay ipasa ko ito." So that creates engagements and increases the number of people who actually has seen a post that could be fake or could be false. So, anong mechanism meron si YouTube to be able to limit, if not eliminate, these kinds of peddling of falsehoods?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to share some relevant provisions of the advertiser-friendly guidelines which all YouTube creators need to comply with. So some of the things prohibited are inappropriate language, shocking content, hateful and derogatory content, as well as incendiary and demeaning content.
Does YouTube recognize vulgar languages or let's say yung pagmumura? Does YouTube consider this as obscene, vulgar, therefore gives them the right to take it down?
In certain cases, that might fall under incendiary and demeaning. So let me just read what is stated. Content that is gratuitously incendiary, inflammatory, or demeaning may not be suitable for advertising.
Okay, so kasi the reason why I asked that, parang it seems that napapabayaan natin yung mga nagmumura Di ba? Kung yung taong na nagmumura, na gumagamit, nagpo-post ng kanilang mga content online ay nagmumura, karakter na ho nila yun. Maaaring pinalaki sila ng mga magulang nila na pinayagan silang magmura. Pero the question is there a mechanism? Yung YouTube ba, pagka nakita niyang nagmumura, yan, kahit man lang sana yung toot, diba, yung mayroong, paano tawag doon? Yung imbis na nagpatuloy yung nagmumura, parang yung parang ini-stop yung word na yun or something. Meron ba kayong ganong mechanism?
So as mentioned, if the content of the creator is already violative of our advertiser-friendly guidelines, YouTube might enforce some monetization policies.
Yeah, but do they recognize yung vulgar languages na Tagalog, which gives them a ground to take it down? Do they recognize that?
YouTube does have language experts in Filipino and other local dialects.
So these are not AI generated. Kumbaga, hindi nila tinatranslate. Walang mechanism na
we use a
ganun.
combination of both machine learning and AI assisted technologies, but at the same time we also do have human reviewers who are fluent in the local dialects.
So human reviewers. So it's still dependent pa rin siya sa mga human reviewers.
Combination, Your Honor.
Okay, kasi alam mo, I'm sure you will agree with me na maraming mga vloggers na para lang maka-generate ng mapansin, ika nga, no? Nagmumura, no? In fact, bastos di ba? Hindi naman natin sila masisisi o hindi natin masisisi kung paano sila pinalaki ng kanilang mga magulang dahil siguro pinalaki silang bastos di ba? Yun nga ang sinabi sa akin ni Congressman Marcoleta na hindi dapat ganun. Dahil alam mo, tinuturuan natin yung ating mga anak na maging magalang, di ba? Na maging respectful. Hindi yung bulgar na bastos. Di ba, aling batikusin ka, huwag ka lang magmumura. Kasi subukan mong sabihin sa akin harapan yung ganun. Anong pakiramdam mo? Di ba? Pero kung online, kung magmura, kala mo ang tapang. Di ba? Kaya nga sabi ni Congressman Marcoleta sa akin, hindi dapat pinapayagan yung mga ganun. Because we have laws. Lalo na kung defamatory. Tapos may kasama pang mura. Bakit hindi kayo magmura harapan, di ba? Pupunta kayo rito, hanapin nyo kami, magmura kayo, something like that. Tingnan natin ano mangyayari. Away itong mangyayari. Kung magharap-harapan kahit nagmumurahan kayo, di ba? Alam mo naman, hindi naman normal yung ganun. Ngayon, because of the advent of social media, people like perhaps maybe expressing their dissent or maybe dislike to a person, to an institution, to an organization by using vulgar language. Di ba? Siguro, pagka ganun yung tao na mura ng mura, hindi mo naman natin masabing walang pinag-aralan yun. Wala lang pinagkatandaan malamang, no? At hindi dinidisiplina ng magulang niya. Kawawa ang magulang nun. Nakakahiya. Di ba? Nakakahiya na yung anak mo, bastos, ganyan. Kung magsalita pa ng mga kabastusan, parang walang anak na mga babae. And that is the reason why I asked that if ever there are mechanisms in that social platform that can control that. If not, that's fine. That's okay. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, so let me reiterate, all content monetizing with ads must follow our advertiser-friendly content guidelines. And one of the advertiser-friendly guidelines is inappropriate language. Content that contains profanity or vulgarity at the start or throughout the majority of the video may not be suitable for advertising. And some of the enforcement mechanisms that can happen to a creator that violates these policies are: number 1, withhold, adjust, chargeback, or offset earnings or payment. Number 2, limit ad revenue from the video. Number 3, suspend participation in the YouTube Partnership Program. And finally, suspend or even terminate the YouTube channel.
Okay. Last question, Mr. Chair. I hope you don't mind. My colleagues would not mind. I just wanted to ask, why do you monetize? Why? What is the logic behind monetization? Because if you monetize, this probably is the main motivator or the main motivation of these people who are engaged in these kinds of ads in the YouTube. Bakit kayo nagmo-monetize?
Mr. Chair, monetization through advertising is what pays for the service. So the ability for YouTube to be able to provide a free service to billions of people all around the world is supported by advertising.
So basically, it's advertising.
That's correct, Mr.
So
Chair.
commercial. Tama? So talagang generation of revenues. Di ba? So that's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney.
Any other member who would like to ask questions from Attorney Gonzalez?
Mr. Chair, not a question, but a clarification.
Clarification?
Mr. Chair, just to clarify for the committee, wala po yung TikTok and ano po yung isa pa natin? Si Facebook. Mr. Chair. Just to clarify, wala pong Facebook and TikTok attending po today, no?
Comsec?
Excuse letter from legal counsel representing Meta Platform. They
To answer your question, Your Honor, we have invited the Meta Platform Incorporated, which has Facebook, and according to the letter, Facebook Philippines does not own, operate, control, or host the Facebook services or the Instagram services in the Philippines. So I think, Your Honor, we have to send an invitation to Meta Platform Incorporated in the United States.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We just wanted to see clarification po, no? What other platforms are here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They also asked to be excused. They are in Singapore. The communications. Po sila. Sa Singapore po sila.
Okay? Thank you. Before we proceed, please allow the chair to recognize the presence of the Honorable Franz Castro and online, the Honorable Arnan Panaligan. Welcome po kayo sa hearing.
Sir Chair. I have,
Yes, the
yeah.
before you proceed, Your Honor, and online we also have the presence of the Honorable Romanti Romulo. Please proceed, Honorable Castro.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Follow up lang, Mr. Chair, doon sa questions ni Representative Barbers as regards to the monetization of content sa online, no? Particularly YouTube, right? So, I'm just curious po. So, namamonetize po yung, depende yun sa viewers, tama ba? Or sa advertisement na pumapasok doon sa content noong content creator. Are you saying? Kasi sabi niyo po, namamonetize yung mga content noong mga creators.
Opo.
So, based doon sa mga pumapasok na advertisement. So, the whole thing is advertisement. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, monetization happens primarily through advertisements that appear on videos either before or in the middle of the video.
Yeah, so who got to pay or who pay the content creator? Kasi 'di ba sinasabi na ma-monetize. So sino ang nagbabayad sa kanila?
Si Google LLC po, the entity based, the main entity based in the United States, is the one that pays
So
YouTube
in
creators.
dollar
Yes, Mr. Chair.
converted to peso. So would you know paano po nakukuha yung tax? So kung merong mang tax na nade-derive from that income sa mga content creator, would you know, Sir Chair?
Mr. Chair, so the creators nominate a bank account for their earnings, and the creators would usually be the ones to voluntarily declare their taxes with their local Internal Revenue Service.
So lahat po ng nababayarang mga content creator, are you monitoring din po kung they are paying taxes to our government?
Mr. Chair, on the part of YouTube, we do not, and we believe that the local Internal Revenue Service are the ones who are monitoring that.
So do we have, Mr. Chair, invited guest from the BIR or resource person from the BIR, Mr. Chair?
We have, Your Honor.
So may I ask the BIR, how do you monitor po yung mga income, mga taxes derived from the income generated by the content creator, Mr. Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, as stated by our colleague, we rely only on the voluntary declaration of the influencers insofar as their income, because there will be great difficulty in monitoring the same, considering that their income primarily comes from foreign income payers. So what we do, Mr. Chair, is we audit and investigate the influencers, and we request data from the foreign tax jurisdictions who we have existing treaties of exchange of information with, and we cross-check or we compare the information that we receive from foreign tax jurisdictions or the other countries and their declared income tax returns. And from there, we determine how much they really earn and how much they really declared. That's Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, at the BIR, are we not doing our job well or we remiss? Kasi bakit sinasabi yung voluntary? Kasi andyan naman yung yung platform, yung Google Philippines o yung YouTube. You can ask from them yung mga list ng mga nag-generate ng income. So bakit nag-aantay tayo ng voluntary from the content creator? Di ba, Mr. Chair, meron na tayong naipasang batas for that. So, can you clarify that, BIR? So, pwede po bang, parang hindi po kasi ako satisfied doon sa voluntary lang na na ginagawa. At kayo naman ay parang nag-aantay lang.
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, under existing tax laws, we cannot just investigate any taxpayer. As per existing tax laws, audits are done randomly or based on those who are classified as high risk. Classified as high risk. That is why we cannot just audit any taxpayer. So we prioritize those who are only classified as high risk.
So, why not? Baka merong loopholes, Mr. Chair, doon sa ating batas, doon sa BIR. Kasi nga, di ba gusto natin talaga na to generate revenue from those engagements. So, yun na po, Mr. Chair, yung follow-up natin sa YouTube. So, yun na lang po, Mr. Chair. Baka in our in aid of legislation, we have to review yung sinasabi ng ating BIR resource person na wala doon sa kanilang mandate, yung talagang regular ba o random lang yung kanilang pag-investigate and monitoring, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Your